Hello. Today we're going to build a simple Web3 rock, paper, scissors game using DropChain. You don't need to know anything about smart contracts to build this game, and you really don't need to know much code either. We're going to take a pre-made app and then convert it into a Web3 rock, paper, scissors game using the DropChain API. We're going to run through all of that process from zero to a finished sort of test app that you can use to try out the DropChain API, where two players will go head to head, and the winner will receive a payout from the loser, kind of like a wager match. Without further ado, let's jump in. Today, we're going to run through the rock, paper, scissors demo to show exactly how you can build a super simple Web3 app, get your hands on DropChain and the DropChain API, and really just get comfortable. This is a super simple app. We have pre-made basically everything for you, and you'll kind of show yourself, and with my help, show the flow of building a Web3 game. I did record this without audio, and so we're going to actually watch this video, and I may pause it once in a while to kind of show you the pieces where I would want to step in and kind of explain some stuff. But for the most part, this is really intuitive, and we're actually following along with a different guide that'll be in the description below. I think the first thing will include basically all of these links in the description of this video. The first thing is the DropChain API Quick Start. If you haven't done this before, please create a free account and go through this API Quick Start. We have another video that Nate did that shows off the flow. It runs through the most simple. It's like 10 minutes and sets up a DropChain account on the developer console, shows you how to create your API keys, it shows your test accounts, and then we actually test the flow out for you. But for this demo, we're actually going to show off the rock, paper, scissors guide. So if we give it a second. And so we're going to build a Web3 rock, paper, scissors game. First, like I said earlier, do the DropChain Quick Start guide if you haven't already. If you have, great. It's super simple. All you do is sign in with Google. As you can see here, we're clicking the button to sign in with Google. You're going to sign in with your Google account. And then if you haven't made an account before, you'll go through a super seamless onboarding experience. And then that's it. Afterwards, you'll go to the API dashboard and you'll have access to everything you need to get started. And you can see all the core information. We go over this with the Quick Start guide, but we'll kind of review it here while we're recording this demo. We have the API keys and your test accounts, which you'll use to test out this rock, paper, scissors Web3 game. So we're really just going through an existing guide. If you want to work through it at your own pace, or maybe use the video and the guide hand in hand, we're going to have a link in the description. Kind of to start this off though, you're going to have Python, because that's sort of the basic code framework that we're using to build this app. And actually the app's already built for you in Python, so you don't need to know anything. You don't really need to know any code to get started. We have an install button in this guide. So go there, install it, come back. And then we also have a GitHub repo with a online rock, paper, scissors game. If you've never used GitHub, don't worry. Just click the code and then the download zip button. That's going to create a zip file, and then that's going to download that right into your downloads folder or wherever you've configured that downloads to go. And so what we actually did is I saved it to my description, to my desktop. And then we renamed it. So we just named it, I think, DropChain Game or Web3_rock, paper, scissors, just so that it's easier to find. And what we're doing here is we're just dragging it onto my desktop. So it's super easy to find. And right there, that's all of our Python files we just downloaded that are already made for us in GitHub with the link in the guide. And so once you have Visual Studio Code installed, or any other code editor that you could use, which, like I said, we'll have in the description, you run your first command, which is pip install requirements. Within the requirements folder, your rock, paper, scissors game, we have a requirements .txt that has the packages you need to install to make sure this runs. Real quick, I'll pause this here. On Mac, there's a hotkey you can use to copy the name or to the path to get to your folders. Or while it's right-clicked, you see that menu, put options, and then it'll open up an extra kind of hidden layer, the copy web3 underscore RPS as path name. If you're on Mac, this is how you do this. If on Windows, just right-click, and then there should be a button to copy the path name to a folder or the path to a folder natively. Once we do that, we're going to move a terminal. Again, on Windows, if you don't know how to open that up, if you do Command space, it'll open up a search, or you can also go into your Launchpad and type in terminal. We're going to open up a terminal in the top left, and then we're going to change directories, which is saying, where do we want to go to? We're going to go to the location of that folder you just downloaded. So when we right-click, put option, copy as path name, we do CD, which is change directory, and then we're doing the path name to this folder, and that's how we work within this this folder that we have here. And so there we go. We've changed the directory, and I did ls. That shows all of the files in your current directory, the file, your folder you're working in. And these are the same as here, so we're good. We're in the right location. So once you open up this file and move to the directory, we're going to install the requirements necessary for you to run your Python game. So just copy the command from the guide, pip install -r requirements.txt, and I already have them downloaded, but you should see something like installing a bunch of stuff, and when it's done, you're good. So in order for us to test this, we go over this in the quick start guide, but we're going to go and check and make sure we know where our test app information is at. So once you signed into your DropChain account at the console, we just want to make sure, okay, this is where we're going to be looking at and working with when we start to test some stuff. This is only real app. We're really just trying to show you how to do this, but feel free to copy within the guide down below, copy the game.py file. We've made a new copy for you. And then we do just highlight the whole thing, so you can click and drag, or if you're fast like me, Command A or Control A on Windows. That highlights the full file, and then I just do paste. So Command V or Control V. And you'll see at the bottom, we have these test user accounts. You're gonna have to go into your DropChain developer console you have in another tab. You're going to paste them into the user ID or user1 UID and user2 UID here. These are going to be different for you, but make sure you put them in between the two double quotes, and these should correlate to your test account user IDs. And that's it. Make sure you do Command S or Control S to save your file. And then we're going to do one more change. You're over halfway done with these changes. You're making good progress here. What we did here is we actually changed the code to point to your test accounts. So we are hard coding this information in to make sure that this rock, paper, scissors game knows that the player 1 is your test account 1, and then player 2 is test account 2. And we're going to do the same thing with server.py. So we're going to go and copy it from the guide here. And then we're going to go to our server.py file on the left, Control A to highlight the whole thing, or you can also click and drag the whole thing, and then paste it into the full folder. So we're replacing the whole server.py file. And there are two locations where you need to change things, kind of like at the bottom of the game.py, we changed two things with your user1 and user2 ID. We're going to do the same thing, line 87 and line 100. Line 87, as you see here, is your app ID. So you're going to go into your DropChain console, and you're going to paste your app ID into these places, just like we did with the user IDs. And we're going to copy the app ID first. And there's also at the bottom left, anywhere you're at the console, you can see your app ID. So you can do that anywhere. And then we're also going to generate and paste in an API key so that we can talk to the DropChain infrastructure. So we're going to click Generate API Key. And that's going to create a new API key. And before we go along, I just want to talk about this real quick. I generated a brand new API key so that I could test this. This is just for testing. By the time you see this video, the API key you see here is deleted. I've deleted it all. On the right side, you see these trash can icons. If you ever lose your API key, or maybe someone sees it like this, or you do something wrong and someone sees it, because you want to treat this very securely and safely. For whatever reason someone sees it, no worries. Just delete it and then remake a new one. Good as new. So we're copying that API key, and then we're going to go right back into server.py, and we're going to highlight that API key string. Make sure that you've pasted it. I'm going to go back here. Make sure that you've pasted it in between the double quotes. You don't miss any of the carets, or not the carets, the greater than and less thans. And then same thing with the API key. That's on line 100 and line 87. And again, we copied this from our guide in the description, the rock, paper, scissors, Web3 rock, paper, scissors game. And so make sure you Control S or Command S to save the file again after you've made changes, or else it won't look at the right file and your changes won't be used. And we will continue on. And you're done. These are the only changes to the code you need to worry about, right? What we did here is we modified the server.py to trigger a DropChain API call to say, okay, DropChain, after my player 1 or player 2 have played a game, they both wagered one of your tokens, right? In this case, it's just a test token we're using to show you how to do this. We have set up all of the code to tell your game, your app, to send the winner of the rock, paper, scissors game one token, one algo in our case, because we're using the testnet, and that's what we use for our testnet tokens. And then after a successful game occurs, the server file that is running, which we'll set up here next, after we do a few small pieces, that will look at your game and say, okay, this has happened. Say player 1 or player 2 has won. Whoever lost, send them one token. And that's all. That's only all changes we did, and we integrated a simple API call, which we'll kind of go through. I can actually show you the specifics here. And so right here we have a function called payout winner, where we are importing some information. We are creating an API request, and we're sending the request. That's all you need to do to integrate this into your app or your game. In this instance, we're running it locally, so it's super simple, and we can just do it all in one location. Cool. So in order for us to use the API, we need to now give our test accounts some of our algo testing currency to try out. And so the way we do that is we go in and we copy our wallet address from test account 1 and test account 2 that we integrated into our game.py file before, and we're going to send them some testnet tokens. This can be done super simply. Just go into your console, copy the wallet address for your test user 1 and test user 2. Make sure you're not a robot with the reCAPTCHA, and paste in your address. And once you see that it's successful, as you should see here, you can make sure that you then have that test algo. And in this case, we just copied that transaction ID that was sent to us, and in 15, 16 seconds ago, we validated, yep, you have some algo to test with. So that's it. That's the preparatory stuff. Now we're going to actually try this game out. So with that terminal we opened to download the requirements, we're going to run a command to start your server. This is to make sure that both the two players talk to one location, and depending on who wins, we can send a transaction on that winner or that loser's behalf. So we're gonna do the command. We copied this in the guide, but it's also pretty simple. It's Python 3 because that's the Python version. We downloaded, and then server.py is the Python file we're running. So we're just going to click it, and you'll know it's successful, or you're going to hit enter. You know it's successful when it says waiting for a connection, server started. That means that you are successfully running your server file. We're also going to open 2 other terminals. So you can do that with Command R, or you're going to run in Windows and then do CMD, and that'll open a window. You'll do this 3 times for each of these terminals, or you can also right click and open up multiple windows on Mac like I did there. And we're also going to do that same process of making sure that each of our terminals are running in the home directory of the download that we made, that Web3 rock, paper, scissors. So what we did, if you go back to this, is we right clicked on the file in the back. You can kind of see it right here. That's the folder that we downloaded from GitHub. And then I did the option command again. With you Windows, just right click and you can see copy the path of the file. And with Mac, you just select option and copy the full name of your folder as path name. And then we're going to do CD, and we're going to change directory to this location. So you'll see me do that, CD, and then paste that path name, CD paste. And for each of these, you can tell that you are in the home directory when you see the name of your folder, in this case web3_rps, at the beginning of your terminal command line. And so we're going to, in the left one, we started the server, which you can tell is working. For it says waiting for a connection, server started. And then we're going to run a client, which is the game. And within the guide, we have examples of how to do this. So the first one we already did. And we can tell that's successful. And then for Python 3 client.py, we're going to run that command in the other 2 instances. And what this is going to do is this is going to run the game for 2 different players. The first one is going to be player 1 or player 0, you'll see here. And the second one is player 1 or player 2, which, there we go. We have the first client open, and we'll click it. Now we're waiting for the other player. And then we'll run the Python 3 client.py in the other terminal. And you can tell it's working when it opens up a window. And it says hello from Pygame. This is great. And so when you click to play on both, you'll see a thing that comes up that says your move and your opponent's move. So we're waiting for the players to play. You can see that the player 1, it starts at 0. So player 1 is really player 0, you see here. And this is player 2. It says player 1. And that's on the left window, and then player 2 is on the right window. And so if we go back to game.py, I'll show you this user 1 UID is actually player 0. There you go. And user 2 is player 1. So just naming conventions, but the idea is the same. And so in this instance, I'm going to hit rock on one of them, and the other one's going to hit scissors. And this is intentional to make sure that one person wins and one person loses. And if you wait a few seconds, we're making a request to the DropChain API to say, all right, the loser needs to send the winner 1 or 0.1 algo. And so we have made the request, and you know it's successful when you see that response that says receiver address, sender address, and the transaction ID. And so we're going to copy one of the wallet addresses, and you can see here MQS is the first one. You see MQS is the test user 1 wallet address that it starts with, and test user 2 is AKE, and user 2, I believe user 2 1 in this case. MQS, test user 1, 1. And so we're going to show that this successfully went through. And we're going to go to the testnet algo explorer to show that this transaction successfully went through. So we're going to paste in that TX ID, that transaction ID, and we can show that player 2 sent 0.1 algo to player 1 because player 2 lost and player 1 won. And you can see on the account information, we also show, depending on what they play, we can show the outcome. So player 1 chose rock and player 2 chose scissors. And that's it. We actually show another flow of a person choosing a different choice. So we reset this real quick. We're going to reopen it just to make sure it's all running correctly, and we select paper on one and rock on another, and paper covers rock. And so we have a different transaction. And so we can copy that transaction ID and again, it changes the message based off who chose what. And so we can say paper, player 1 chose paper and player 2 chose rock, and we can reflect that in the transaction sent directly to the blockchain. So today we showed you how to create a Web3 rock, paper, scissors demo that allows anyone, code in this case with an existing Web2 game, to create and transform this game into a Web3 app. This is a very simple tutorial, but this can be used in really anything you can imagine. Hopefully after you've watched this tutorial, you've learned something. And please join the Discord server if you have any questions and want to ask my co-founder or I questions about how can I start building a Web3 app for the first time. We have code examples like this one. We have no code examples. We have people who've built apps not knowing anything about programming or Web3, and they still built their first Web3 game or app. So please get in touch. Thank you for watching this video, and take care.